So I'm Jim Canyon. I'm the founder, CEO of Digital Spring. We're a software as a service company with a patented hardware component. We operate in the farm data acquisition market, and today we've got two tricks and a treat for you. For the first trick, we're going to dominate the farm data acquisition market. For the second trick, we're going to deliver the world's first crop yield simulator, a simulator capable of increasing crop yields by 8%, which in low margin crops is a 40% increase in profit. So let's clicker. So let's look at the business of farming first. Farming is a low margin business. Ray here on the left operates a successful farm in Kansas. Ray is very particular about how much it costs him to plant, about his input costs, and pays special attention to his crop yield. Other farmers in Kansas are not as diligent as Ray is, and in a bad year, they lose money. Some of them lose their farm, and this actually happens today. So farming is a low-margin business. If this apple is an ear of corn, in order to grow an acre of corn, it costs you $600 to $800. $600 to $800 to generate only a $200 profit per acre. Enter the $13 billion precision farming market. Precision farming companies aggregate data from companies like mine, data acquisition companies, to help farmers keep their margins up. There are two types of data acquisition companies. There's above farm and on farm companies. New in the above farm companies are the use of drones, and on farm companies we have the Internet of Things. Startup companies are coming to competitions like this, getting millions of dollars to be the Internet of Things for commercial farming. I see consolidation in the precision farming interface, but not yet on the data acquisition market. Additionally, the idea of building a crop yield simulator is nowhere in sight. But let's take a moment and figure out what does it take to build a crop yield simulator? Well, you'd have to be able to model each farm individually, right? You'd have to be able to measure soil type, soil moisture, and more importantly, no water movement through soil as a function of time. You have to be able to get the data inexpensively and easily. You need large data sets in order to make the models accurate. 5 years ago, I realized the Internet of Things wouldn't work for commercial farming. In short, the reason why it doesn't work is you can't turn a farm into a university science project. It just doesn't work. It's too expensive, and farmers want actionable data. They don't want numbers. They don't know what to do with it. Shortly thereafter, I went to Purdue University and opened up a secret lab. We raised $250,000, and we started development on what we're showing you now. Today, Digital Spring boasts a patented, mature technology paired with an exceptional business model. Utilizing aircraft, we measure all the parameters required to run a modern farm. The cost of scanning is 15 cents per acre, and we sell the data for $1.25 per acre. Because we use aircraft, we can scan 500,000 acres a week. So how do we do it? We take small aircraft and we retrofit it with our patented radar, and in addition to that, we add a suite of sensors specifically designed for this task. We measure the farm from 300 megahertz to 300 terahertz. We measure from the top of the crop all the way down into 8 feet into the soil. The aircraft takes off, it flies 100,000 acres in that day, it lands, and the data is uploaded into the cloud. Now this is a very important point because we don't need wireless infrastructure and we don't need any equipment on farm. Once the data's in the cloud, we get visual images, we get microclimates, we get crop health, we get soil nutrients, we understand soil type, and more importantly, we have a model of water transport through soil. Utilizing this data, we can increase farm margins by 2 digits. So this is I'm going to have to go back. So this is this is a huge market. Today we're valuing our company only on $1.5 million, on only 1.5 million acres in California's Central Valley, which is just a small portion of that. And in the United States, there are 915 million acres of farmland. So we're being awful conservative.
30 seconds.
Oh, well. So how do we make money? Our business is scaled as a function of aircraft. It costs about $250,000 to open up a new office. Each new office after 5 years it generates $9 million of free cash. With only 8 locations, we're a $250 million company. Because of that, we have tremendous investors. Your return on your investment will be very good. I'm going to finish with this. So 2 tricks and a treat. We introduced you to a company poised to consolidate the farm data acquisition market, taking a very large chunk out of IoT for farming and aerial measurements. We introduced you to the future of farming with a crop yield simulator, with the ability to predict future yields before even planting. This IP is tightly held by U.S. and foreign patents. We showed you a growth model capable of $250 million with only 8 locations. We're raising $1.5 million, looking for some investors to help us increase global crop yields, help us be good stewards of the land. And the treat is we have apples on the counter. Come by and say hi.
We have time for a couple of questions.
So, hey Jim, real quick. So how do you penetrate this market? I mean, you've got, ag extension at the universities. You've got any number of companies that are claiming to sell data to farmers right now. How do you get past the noise and penetrate to the farmers?
So our first product is going to be installed on a center pivot. So we're going to attack the center pivot market first, and we're going to give the center pivot manufacturer full access to 100% of our technology. We'll make a deal. What that does is it proves out the business model, and it gives us a path to organic growth should we not raise any money.
What's the center pivot?
It's a big sprinkler system that goes, and they're very long. They're a mile long. So we're going to attack the center pivot market. Once we get that, we'll fly California Central Valley.
Yeah. Hi. I saw one of your slides said B2B, and then down the line kind of a B2C.
Yeah.
Is there a kind of a B2G? Is there a government kind of endorsed model here, especially kind of in underdeveloped countries?
Yeah. So being a very, very small startup, we have to sit and we have to focus in one direction. We have to drive. There are a lot of people who are very interested in looking at a way to mass measure what happens underneath your feet. From oil companies to governments, a watershed, California watershed is another thing. And again, we're scanning 100,000 two-dimensional acres, but our plane flies at we're assuming 120 knots. You can measure an awful lot of pipe that way. So city measurements, looking for leaks in cities. The market's very, very large.
Sorry, Craig, just real quick, your perspective. I mean, the challenge, it seems to me, is that you're asking people who have no margin and no money to invest in a product that they hope gives them more margin, which is always tough. But broader question, do you think farm tech, like yours, but broader in general, drives family farms to be more profitable, or drives family farms out of business into corporate farming?
So we're an equalizer. We are the great equalizer, because today, so where do we get our numbers? We get our yield numbers from Gallo Farms. Gallo Farms in Central California is one of the best run farms in the country. And when they put in a soil moisture sensor every 10 acres, they were able to adjust their water to get an 8% better yield with 10% less water. Now that's a measurement every 10 acres. we can measure a farm at 49 spots per acre. And our resolutions are slices in every 6 inches. And it's done at the rate of, pennies per acre measurement cost. So today, the Internet of Things is trying to help commercial farming, and their costs are an order of magnitude of anything of this dollar, $1.15, $1.50 that I'm charging a farmer per acre. It's nothing. The price of seed is $100 an acre. And I'm charging $10. The price of seed is $100 an acre. I'm charging $12 an acre for our service, and so that's and we're giving you an 8% increase. So you make money on the transaction straight up.
Thank you.
Thank you.